Hi guys, Jason the Phone Boy here. This is another part of my discussions video, and this one's based on some alternative weapons. Now we discussed, or I discussed, I guess, earlier on about what kind of prepper are you and what kind of disaster are you preparing for. The bug out strategy, and I kind of gave away one of these weapons in my bug out strategy, but I watch these videos, and there's people who tell you, well, you have to have this gun, you have to have that gun. And a lot of them have assault rifles. I still don't understand the concept of having an assault rifle in a shit-hits-the-fan situation. Ammunition, generally speaking, is expensive for it. And, you're going to pop off a lot of rounds really fast if you're not careful. And you're going to run out of ammo really quick if you're not careful. The old sniper saying is, what is it? Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. It's a lot better than just, shooting from the hip trying to hit something. That's the difference between a sniper and a guy with an assault rifle. A guy with an assault rifle is just going to run around popping off rounds hoping they hit something, whereas a sniper is going to take his time and one shot's going to make the difference. I'm trying to get a cold, I think. So, that being said, I'm not a big fan of the assault rifles. Yeah, I'll probably get one for fun, but for the most part, I don't put a whole lot of hope into those. I more or less like having, a 12-gauge shotgun with the ability of shooting slugs. People say, come on, really? Yeah, really. I don't care about being able to shoot 30 rounds downrange, 400 yards. Okay, I'm either going to take somebody out at 800 yards with a long-range rifle, or I'm going to take you out at point-blank range. There's no in-between, really, in that kind of situation. So, I think about it, and I just don't really want or care to have an assault rifle. There's a lot of things that come along with having an assault rifle. People look at you and go, whoa, you're one of those guys when you have an assault rifle, which I really don't care what people think. If I have an assault rifle, that's my business. But people get that attitude. I like shotguns. I've always liked shotguns. I think they're a very safe weapon for the most part. There's a lot of different things you have to bypass in order to put around in the chamber. So it's not like any child can just pick one up and push the safety release, then chamber around, then turn the safety off, then pull the trigger. That's why I think they're a lot safer than some guns that you just you load. Pistols are probably my biggest aggravation because they are very easy to load and use for a kid. But most rifles aren't really that simple. It's not just shotguns, it's pretty much any kind of rifle. But that being said, there's all this list of weapons out there, and everybody keeps forgetting to mention a few important guns, I think, that are important, that really can mean the difference. And those guns would be a muzzle loader and a BB gun. And I can just imagine right now the amount of people watching this video rolling their eyes going, you've got to be kidding me. A BB gun? Yeah, a BB gun. And first we're going to talk about the muzzle loader. A muzzle loader or a musket, I think, is a great weapon because they're not as particular as a lot of your cased rounds. With a muzzle loader and with a musket or a muzzle loader, you just put some powder in there and drop a bullet in there and shoot. They're not real particular about making sure that your casings fit absolutely perfect, or making sure that everything is made right, because you don't want something to blow the wrong way. They're relatively safe. They're pretty much like a freaking hand cannon. You can put as much ammo or as much powder as you want behind that round, and when you pull the trigger, that thing's gonna fire out the end because it's just made to be that way. Could be wrong on that, but that's my understanding. But no, seriously, the reason I look at it this way is because you don't have to have a casing or all of those other things. You simply just make some gunpowder or get some gunpowder and drop it in the hole, and that's one of the reasons I like them, because there's plenty of books out there that explain in detail how to mix and make gunpowder out of the barest materials. A lot of people say, well, you can go down to Ace Hardware and pick up this material or that material. No, I'm talking about, going out and getting, ammonium nitrate off of cow piss. I'm talking about the bare minimals. Making your own charcoal. People don't know, for the most part, that you can make gunpowder fairly easy out of nothing. Flat out from scratch. That is really weird. I'm going to cut this for just a second here. Turn you around to look at this light in the sky. It's not really a light in the sky. What it is it's an airplane, I think. But it has an LED bulb or a HID bulb in it, and it just looks really weird because it's like a bright blue color. You don't see that very often, not on airplanes. Yeah, they're normally incandescent type bulbs. Anyway, but I don't see people mentioning black powder guns very often, and I think it's because they think if shit hits the fan situation, you need an assault rifle or a shotgun or something that's going to pop off a lot of rounds. In my opinion, I'm preparing for having to get food for my family, and a 50 caliber muzzleloader will get food for my family. And I can make my own I can make my own gunpowder, and I can make my own ammunition. It's very easy to find melting things to melt the bullets yourself, and it's not really hard to do. It's not an exact science. Not generally, I should say. If you get an old school frontier style musket, it's not an exact science. You just basically make the ball and drop it in there. Some of these more fancy muzzleloaders for hunting deer and stuff they make nowadays, yeah, you gotta be pretty clean about how you make the bullet. But making bullets, making powder, pretty simple thing, and a lot easier than having to find a primer or make a primer for a casing. So, just some food for thought on that. Now to the BB gun. I know, the BB gun. You gotta be a BB gun? Yeah, a BB gun. Not a CO2 powered BB gun, a regular pump BB gun. There's one right now that's called a multi-pump pneumatic gun. Shoots 800 feet per second. It's $50. A perfectly reasonable price, by the way, for a BB gun. $50. Not bad. Not bad at all. For 800 feet per second. 800 feet per second is just 400 feet per second shy of your typical 22 round. If I remember correctly, they're 1,200 feet per second normally. But that's a great round for small game. And when I say small game, I mean squirrels, rabbits, birds. I've killed a raccoon with a BB gun once. That was a lucky shot if you ask me, but it can be done. And you're looking at a pretty good sized, game that you can kill using a BB gun. And they're cheap guns. Ammunition is super cheap. I mean, you can buy 1,000 rounds for less than $10. And I'm talking pellets, I'm not talking BBs. I would always buy pellets, hollow points even. But 1,000 rounds for under $10, that'll last you a while. Not to mention the fact it's a single shot, so you don't have to worry about wasting a whole bunch of rounds at a time. Let's see, what else? You don't have to worry about getting powder or primers or charges or casings. You know, you just simply air it up. There's a lot of different kinds out there. I think you can get them up to 25 caliber now. So that's a pretty good size round, actually. I think 600 feet per second with a 25 caliber, I think is the highest that I've seen so far, largest round that I've seen with a BB gun. But I know Benjamin Air Guns makes one that you pump up with like a bicycle, and it'll shoot X amount of rounds before the pneumatic tank is empty. Or you can get a single shot lever. I would not recommend getting a brake barrel, because a brake barrel you can't put a scope on. If you put a scope on, you'll never be able to sight it in. The barrel never fits exactly the same way every time. And when I say exactly the same way, I say at 50 feet away, I can't hit a soda can, 3 times in a row. So you have it sighted in, you hit the soda can, your next shot, you hit the soda can, the next shot, you miss it completely. You go, daggone it. And I figured out what the problem was real quick with that. It was because the brake barrel, changes the direction of the bullet. That sucks. That's why I say that multi-pump deal is pretty cool, because it's the same strength almost as a brake barrel, but you don't have to alter the direction of the barrel in order to pump the round, or pump up the tank. You can get a regular Crossman 760 for about 25 bucks. These shoot at about 650 feet per second. Plenty enough to kill a squirrel at 100 feet plus. So that's a cheap gun, easy to maintain. I had one for, good lord, probably 10 years before I finally broke it. And then I just broke it because I wanted to take it apart and see how it worked. So, that's 2 guns right there that you don't have to worry about buying, a whole lot of different things. You don't have to buy magazines. You don't have to buy casings to refill. So, I just wanted to kind of throw those 2 guns out there for you. And I know a lot of people probably are sitting there going, really? I spent, all this time watching this video so you could tell me that I needed a muzzle loader and a BB gun? But I wanted to explain why I like those 2 guns. I do have a BB gun, I don't have a muzzle loader. So that's something I'm going to have to get. And I know that both of these guns aren't going to shoot off a lot of rounds really fast. But no matter how you look at it, any gun shooting any bullet can kill a human being. You can kill somebody with a 177 caliber BB gun. And I know there's probably people out there going, you're crazy, you can't. Yeah, you can do it. Anything that will penetrate the skull can kill somebody. I mean, heck, if you can do it with a knife, you can do it with a BB gun. So, just some more food for thought, and I'm going to let this fire burn down, and hopefully I can get some discussions started up from this series of videos. And, as more thoughts come along, then I'm going to probably make some more videos. And, appreciate you watching the videos. Jason the Phone Boy, I'm out.